Hey everyone, Crypto Millionaire here with another video, and today I want to talk about what the rich don't want you to know. Okay, and this is a new series that I've started because I feel that it's my duty to educate and tell people about what I know about the rich. And the first thing that I want to talk about is history, because history is really important. If you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. In 29, we had the Great Depression in the United States, which was basically caused by a run-up in the stock market. So everybody would borrow money to buy stocks, and the market went up and up and up, like how it is right now in the United States. And basically the bank said, okay, we're not lending any more money out. Okay, so we're not giving people money. The stock market crashed and all these people had debt, and basically they were poor for basically 20 years. And that's a pretty long time. So that's what happened in 1929. And for that not to happen again, there was a law passed called the Glass-Steagal Act of 1933, which was passed by FDR and his group of people. Now this act was to make sure that banks could not run up the market again like how they did back in 1929. Okay, and this law stayed solid all the way until 1999, where President Bill Clinton came in and repealed the act, which meant that retail banks, which were supposed to only do savings, checking, and loans, could get into investment banking or investments, big time investments. By repealing this act, now banks could make money from investments. And this is a big step backwards, okay? And this was the main reason the Great Depression happened back in 1929. But now, in 1999, they allowed the doors to open again. Okay, so this is history that you need to know. Glass-Steagall is really important. You can Google it, it's there. It explains everything. But this is what the rich don't want you to know. Okay, so many powerful politicians, lobbyists in Washington had this act repealed in order for them to make a lot of money. So if you know about like hedge fund managers, Jeffrey Epstein, they made millions, billions using this system of investment. Okay, so Glass-Steagall Act of 1999 repealed. Okay, another big event that happened in history was in 1972, where our beloved President Richard Nixon, yes, Tricky Dick himself, repealed the gold standard. So until 1972, our US dollar, our greenback, which we call it, was tradable with gold. Now you could bring it to your money to the bank and they would give you gold for your money. But in 1972, President Nixon said, okay, no more gold reserve. Fort Knox, the gold there, you don't have to represent the US dollar anymore. And what the governments could do is print as much money as they want. Now, this is not only for the United States, but also for Japan, Europe, the UK. Everybody was basically the same. Okay, so 1972 gold standard is repealed, and our paper money basically goes to toilet paper. Look at my videos about Venezuela and people just throwing money on the streets because it's worthless. That's what it's not backed by anything. All right, so that's two events that you need to know. Glass-Steagall of 1999 repealed, and also gold standard repealed in 1972. Okay, so those are things that the rich don't want you to know because they make these laws. They pay a lot for lobbyists in Washington to actually get laws changed in their favor. All right, so another thing that you need to know, and the rich don't want you to know, is that banks in 2008, when we had the Lehman crisis, okay, we're supposed to go bankrupt, okay? And in 2008, we had the Lehman crisis where banks invested too much in wrong securities, and banks were supposed to go bankrupt. We're supposed to go under. But the government stepped in and they started to say, hey, don't worry, banks, we're going to save you. We're going to use taxpayer money to bail you out. And basically what they did was print a lot of money. And this is called quantitative easing. QE. Okay, QE1, QE2, QE3, 4 times, 5 times. They've done it many times. They printed something like $700 billion to save the banks. Okay, and there was a lot of fraud. There was a lot of bad things that the banks did, but nobody went to jail in the United States. Okay, so quantitative easing is basically printing more money on a large scale. Okay, and calling it something technical like quantitative easing. Okay, it just sounds kind of fancy, but that's financial jargon for you. They're really good at making these fancy words. Okay, so that's QE. All right, and there's another thing that I need to let you know, and this is called fractional reserve lending. So when you put your money in the bank, as soon as you put it in there, the banks are allowed to lend 10 times that amount. Okay, it's ludicrous. I don't know who made this law. It's probably politicians and lobbyists that changed this law or created this law. But basically, when you put $10 in the bank, $9 of that is lent out immediately. Okay, and your bank account statement still says $10. So basically, they're creating 10 times more of the money from your money. And this is just crazy. I just don't understand how they can do that. They could do this because we're not on any gold standard anymore. But because of this, they create what is called the revolution of money. Okay, and money circulates and money is created. That's why you see so much wealth in the world now. But the problem with this situation is that the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer because they don't understand the system. And this is a really big concern of mine. Understanding what is going on, or I'm educating everybody on what's going on because they need to know this. Now, thanks to YouTube, thanks to social media, we have more information, but it's important for all of you to understand this because this is your future, your children's future, and your grandchildren's future as well. Because this is the financial system we live in. It's flawed and it cannot last. Okay, no currency has ever been successful for longer than 100 years. Okay, so that's just basic knowledge in finance right now. So what I'm trying to do in this series is educate you on what the rich don't want you to know. I hope this information helps. There's going to be more information about this. I do a lot of videos about our lifestyle. We go to many places where we train and we motivate people, and we do a lot of financial education. We'll be in Indonesia, Bali at the end of this month, and we just really enjoy our lifestyle. So you can see our lifestyle videos as well on this channel. So if you like this channel, click the like. If you like this information, we'll have more information to keep you guys up to date on what's going on with the world now, because with the US trade situation, you know, fighting with China, Hong Kong protests, Iran. If you like this video, click on the like below, subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll have much more great videos for you from Crypto Millionaire. Okay, so I love you guys. Take care. Stay educated. Learn, educate, and prosper.